Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Make It Yourself. Today we are going to make this really simple and easy crochet vine which has flowers at the end. So the tutorial is very easy, and in this video we are going to learn how to make this vine as well as the flowers. The tutorial to the baskets that are used in this video are already available in my channel, and I will leave the link in the description of this video if you want to make them as well. So let's get started. We're going to start off by making the vine, and for that we're using a green yarn, and we're going to start off by making a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 60. So this chain 60 is used to make the vine which is of the longest length. You can make any number of chains based on the length of the vine that you prefer. You can make few long vines and few short ones so that the final hanging plant looks beautiful. So this is the longest one that I made. So this is chain 60. The other 2-3 sizes are around chain 30 and chain 40. So after the chain of 60, on the second stitch from the hook, we are going to make one single crochet, and then we are going to chain 4 and then insert the hook into the base 2 loops here, and then make a slip stitch. So this is called a chain 4 picot. So on top of the single crochet we're going to make a chain 4 picot. Now we're going to do this a total of 3 times. So we're going to make a single crochet, and then we're going to make a chain 4 picot on top of the single crochet, and 3 sets of them will be in the same stitch. So this is the second set, and now this is the third set. So make the single crochet first, and then chain 4, and then insert your hook into the base 2 loops, that is the 2 loops of the single crochet. Pull through both the loops and then make a slip stitch. Now move on to the next stitch or to the next chain. Insert your hook and then make a single crochet, and then chain 4 and insert your hook into the base 2 loops of the single crochet, and then make a slip stitch. So here too, into the second stitch we are going to make 3 sets of this. So make a single crochet, make a chain 4 picot on top of it. This is the second set, and do this, repeat this pattern one more time into the same stitch. So this is the third set. So chain 4, insert your hook to the base 2 loops and make a slip stitch. So this is basically the pattern that you will be following throughout the entire length of the chain. As you can see, this is a really simple pattern, and you just need to repeat these same steps throughout the entire length of this chain. And once you start making these 3 sets into each stitch, the pattern will start to spiral. So you will see that once you have made this pattern on few of the stitches, it is going to work in a spiral form. See, as you can see, it starts curving and it will turn into a kind of a spiral shape. And you're gonna basically repeat this till the till almost the end of the chain. And it is a very easy pattern. As you can see, it is definitely a yarn eater because you'll be making 3 similar stitches into each chain, so you will need a lot of yarn. and it will definitely take some time because you're going to have to repeat this pattern for all the stitches. But since it is a very easy pattern, you can do this while you're watching TV or anything, and you can complete your project. And I'm going to make a total of 5 vines for my project. You can add more or less vines based on how you want the final plant to look. So continue this pattern and do this till almost the end. Leave a few chains at the end, like around 5 or 6 chains, and till then you can repeat this pattern and uh, continue it. I'll show you how it looks after we have completed till the end of it. So here you can see as it curves, and now you can see I am almost done with this first vine. So we are going to make a few more stitches, and then we are going to stop. So as you can see, we have a few more stitches left, and I'm using a hook of size 4.5 mm by now. I started off with a 3.5 mm hook, but then realized a bigger size works better for me. So I think you can use a 4.5 mm hook for making the vine. And here too I am repeating the same steps that I did before. I'm making the single crochet and making a chain 4 picot on top of the single crochet, and I'm making 3 of these same stitches into a single stitch. So repeat that, and this is the second stitch, and this is the third one. So make the chain 4 picot. So once you're done with the third set, I'm going to stop at this. So I'm going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch. So find the next stitch in the chain and make a slip stitch. And after making the slip stitch, we're going to chain 1, pull this yarn tight to make a knot, and then trim off. So trim off the yarn, and you can stitch in the tail yarn of this end, and we have left around 10 stitches at the end so that we can stitch it to the base. So now we're going to make this flower. We're making this flower with 2 colors, white and orange. You can use any colors that you prefer, or you can also make them in a single color. And you're going to start off by using the white yarn. We're going to make a magic ring, and then we're going to chain 2. After chain 2, we're going to take the magic ring out of our fingers, and the chain 2 doesn't consider as a stitch. So we're going to make 6 double crochets into the magic ring. So this is the first double crochet, the second double crochet, the third double crochet, the fourth double crochet, the fifth double crochet, and the sixth double crochet. So we have 6 double crochets into the magic ring, and the chain of 2, as I said, is not considered as a stitch, so we will consider only the 6 double crochets. 1, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to pull the tail yarn and close the magic ring, and now we're going to slip stitch to the top of our first stitch. So we have the chain of 2 at the beginning, and on top of the first stitch, that is the first double crochet, we have the stitch here. So we're going to insert our hook under these 2 loops here and make a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1. Now this chain 1 also doesn't count as a stitch, so into the same stitch we are going to make a single crochet, and this for this round we are just going to make one single crochet over each stitch. So since our previous round had 6 double crochets, after this round we will have 6 single crochets. So just make one single crochet on top of each stitch. I know this is white yarn, so it might be a little bit difficult to see the stitches here, but I'm trying my best. So we're going to turn our work inside out in this way, and now as you can see we have the tail yarn at the center. We're just going to use a smaller crochet hook and pull the tail yarn through the bottom of the pattern so that it does not come our way when we are making the stitches. And now we are going to slip stitch to the first stitch, but here we will be working only on the front loops. So make a slip stitch to the front loop of the first stitch and then chain 6. So this chain 6 will be our first petal. So into the very first stitch make a slip stitch. Into the next 4 stitches we will just make one single crochet on each. So just make one single crochet on each of the next 4 stitches, and we are done with the first petal. So we'll be slip stitching it to the front loop of the next stitch and then make a chain of 6 to make our second petal. So after making the chain of 6, we'll again repeat the same pattern, slip stitch into the very next stitch and make one single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So this is the first single crochet, the second single crochet, the third single crochet and the fourth single crochet. So we'll be repeating this pattern throughout this entire round, and we'll work only on the front loops, so that by the end of this round we should have a total of 6 petals, and we'll make this using the same pattern. So we'll be making first a slip stitch over the chain of 6 and then making 4 single crochets over the next 4 stitches and then slip stitching to the front loop of the next stitch. So repeat this pattern and make a total of 6 white color petals. So here we are almost at the end of this round and we're making the last petal. We're going to slip stitch and then make 6 chains, and after that we're going to repeat the pattern of first making a slip stitch followed by one single crochet, the second single crochet, the third single crochet and the fourth single crochet. Now this is the 6th petal and we are done with this round, and now we're going to slip stitch to the back loop of the first stitch, and now we're going to chain 1 and pull the yarn tight to make a knot and leave a long tail yarn and then trim off. So we're done with the white part of the flower, and now we're going to make the petals at the center. If you remember, we worked only on the front loops, and Back loops are available here. So these back loops are where we are going to make the round using the orange color yarn, and you're going to connect the orange yarn to these back loops here and going to make the petals here. So let's get started. We're going to first make a slip knot using the orange or yellow yarn, and make sure to leave a long tail before making the slip knot. And this slip knot we are going to pull through any of the back loops. So just pull it through any of the back loops, doesn't matter which one. And then we are going to chain 5. So the petals of this round will have a chain of 5. The white petals had a chain of 6. So chain 5, and into the very next stitch make 1 slip stitch, and into the next 3 stitches just make 1 single crochet in each. So the pattern is very much similar to what we did in the previous round with the white petals. We made a chain of 6, but here we are making a chain of 5, and we are slip stitching over the first stitch, and then remaining we are making a single crochet. Now make a slip stitch to the back loop of the stitch to the right side of the flower, and then make the second petal. So for the second petal chain 5, and into the next stitch from the hook make a slip stitch, then make the first single crochet, followed by the second single crochet, and followed by the third single crochet. Now here the second petal is done. For the third petal, again insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch and make a slip stitch, and then chain 5 to make the third petal. So you will be repeating this pattern into the back loop of all the stitches, and by the end of this round you should have a total of 6 yellow or orange colored petals. So just repeat this pattern. So here we are done with the last petal, and now we're going to this to slip stitch to the base of the very first stitch, and then we are going to chain 1, pull the yarn tight and trim it off. So we're going to leave a long tail here also, and as you can see we're almost done with the flower. We just have few more steps left. Now we want to bring both the tail yarns to the inner side of the center part of the flower. So just use a crochet hook and pull it through a few stitches into the inner side of the flower, and then we're going to place a knot uh, between these two tail yarns. And now at the end of the tail yarns we are going to place 2 knots on each end. So this is the first yarn, we are placing 2 knots. This is the second yarn, and around the same height we are going to place again 2 knots, and we're going to trim off the excess yarn. So just trim off a little bit above the knots, and these are, we will be using it as the stamens of the flower. Now we have this white tail yarn just at the end of the petals. So this white tail yarn, we're going to pull it to the inner side of the flower, and we're going to use this white yarn to pull the two yellow yarns and make them. Now the yellow tail yarns are on the side. We want the yellow tail yarns to be appearing like they are originating from the center. So for that we'll be placing them this way, and we're going to use the hook and insert it through the base, and then we're going to pull the white yarn above the two yellow yarns, and then we're going to pull the white yarn through the center in the base. So just pull the white yarn through the center, through the base, and as you can see, once we put this white yarn over the yellow yarn, the two yellow yarns get pulled to the center of the flower, and it looks like there are two stamens hanging from the middle of the flower. We did this step just to make sure that the yellow yarns, which we are making them as the stamens, do not appear on the side of the flower, rather it comes through the center. Now place a knot at the base using the two white yarn, and these white yarns will be using it to tie it to the end of the vine. So at the end of the vine, through any stitch, pull one of the yellow yarn, one of the white yarn, and then place a knot to the other tail yarn. Place two knots to make it more secure. And once the flower is tied to the end of the vine, you can pull the white yarn through some existing stitches of the base of the flower and then trim it off. So here I'm just pulling it to the inner side so that the tail yarn gets hidden, and then trimming it off. Similarly for the other tail yarn also, just pull it through few of the existing stitches of the base part of the flower and then trim it off. So just pull through few stitches and pull through a few more stitches and pull through the inner side. I pull it through the inner side so that the tail yarn does not poke out. So here, as you can see, that the flower is attached to the vine, and you can make as many vines as you want. Here I have made 5 vines of different length, so they're like around 60 chains, 40 chains and 30 chains. Now this is a sphere or a round sphere to which I'm going to attach these vines. The link to make the sphere, the tutorial to make the sphere, is available in the description, or you can make the sphere using any sphere pattern available in YouTube. It's a pretty simple pattern, and I have made this sphere in a number of my previous YouTube videos, so I have not shown the steps here, but I'll provide the link to it into the description part of the video. Now we're stitching the vines to the top of the sphere using the tail yarn of the sphere itself, and there is no right or wrong way of doing this. We are just passing the needle through the chains of the endings of the vine, and we're going to just stitch in all these vines together. You can use any method or ways to attach these vines to the sphere. You can also place some weight inside the sphere, like some rocks or something, so that the sphere is able to take the weight of the vine, and the sphere will be placed inside a basket or any holder for hanging the vines. So if the sphere has some weight in it, it will be able to hold the weight of the vines in a better way. So here I have just stitched on the vine to the top of the sphere, and as you can see, I have already these baskets made. I am placing them in, and the link to these baskets will be available in the description if you want to make them. And I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Do subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon for notifications on new videos, and give me a thumbs up guys if this video was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.